We the Hobby on the ground at the Dallas Card Show, and we're walking around trying to ask hobbyists what are their thoughts on Fanatics owning all three major licensing. Let's go find out. Fanatics taking over the licensing for the NFL come April. Your thoughts on them owning the three major sports?
I think everyone in the hobby wants to see it succeed if they're here for the right reasons. So I support what Fanatics is doing and trying to get it right off the jump. Bring products that collectors are going to love, that are going to hold their value and tell the stories we all know and love. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. I think they're taking the responsibility seriously. I think it's going to show up in the products coming out.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Skylar.
Skylar, I'm with We the Hobby. What are your thoughts on Fanatics taking over all three major sports licensing?
I think that it's a bad idea, but who am I?
You're a seller here. You got it. You have a voice.
Yeah, I do have a voice. I think that it's always cool to see new product come out and see like new designs. I think that there's people that do it a lot cooler. But what I do like is the return of Topps Chrome, aka Topps Crack. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like the first thing that I ever bought in this space was Topps Chrome. So it puts me in a space of when I was younger and when I was buying this stuff. But as far as like one person having a license to everything, I think that it puts the collector or the consumer in a tight space because there's no diversity or there's no competitors to compete with each other to make it, you know, a safe space for the consumer. You know what I mean?
You have some Panini products. Can Panini then stay competitive against Topps?
At one point in time, you know, for lack of better words, Panini was God. Now we're worshiping a new God, Fanatics. At the end of the day going in. You know what I'm saying?
Just wanted to get your thoughts on Fanatics taking over the licensing and they'll own all three major sports.
I'm excited about it. I think Topps and Fanatics have done a great job of product innovation. I love the MLB debut patches and the gold logo man cards and all that kind of stuff. I think they've added a lot of cool chase cards. They're getting a lot better with their inserts. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. We've seen a little bit of it so far in basketball. We're about to see football, you know, in a few months. And I think that stuff's going to go crazy. Like debut patches in football and all that stuff. It's going to be amazing.
So when someone goes, oh no, but what about the kabooms and what about the downtowns?
There's always been periods during the history of sports cards where there were popular inserts and popular card designs that then eventually went away because licenses changed. I mean, look at all the very popular late 1990s inserts like the Precious Metal Gems and the Star Rubies and the Jambalayas and the Dunkin' Go Nuts and all of these late 90s inserts that people love. None of those are made anymore, but it doesn't stop people from collecting them and still loving them from that era. So people will still collect kabooms, they'll still collect downtowns, but obviously all the ones from that particular era. And now we're about to get a whole new era of all kinds of new things from Topps.
You're highlighting Fanatics encompassing all three of the major sports. I don't have issue with that. I think the uniformity will add esteem to all the different subsets that Topps already has. Like, I love baseball. I'm buying some baseball superfractors, partly because I think having football and basketball and baseball all under the same roof will rise the value of all the cards. But even from a fun and enjoyment standpoint, we're bringing it closer to its roots with football, with Topps Chrome football being so iconic. Basketball, I think, has been really mishandled by Panini, and the marketing aspect of Fanatics is so much wider and is incorporating so many more people into cards. We see banners right now for Max Verstappen and F1. That's going to be a lot crazier when it's Tom Brady and Kevin Durant or someone. Who knows?
You said Panini mishandled basketball. Like, what did they do?
They didn't really leverage the license until right before they were about to lose the license. Granted, Topps is guilty of this as well, but they're putting a lot of player worn and not game used material. We have a few recent sets with the case hits. They were great in bringing kabooms. They're great in having these 2022, 2023 like mangas. Downtowns were obviously pre-pandemic. Those are phenomenal. But the marketing reach, just because Panini isn't that big of a company, Panini has been branding itself towards basketball and football collectors, while Fanatics has been widening the net towards everyone. There's a lot more ways for people to be involved in sports cards in the hobby with Fanatics under its roof.
I think that's a fair point. I
can definitely criticize Fanatics too. I'm not sponsored, I'm not whatever. Yeah. But I'm very pleased with what Fanatics has been doing lately.
Jim and James, your thoughts on Fanatics owning the licensing of all three major sports in America? Small question.
Really?
How's your day going? What you eat for breakfast? Fanatics.
As far as like Fanatics owning everything, not impressed. They've been moving towards that for a little while now. Just like a Collector Universe that's been moving to eat up all the big grading companies. Not surprised, but a little down because competition always helps to improve the hobby. That respect, they're just gonna create things the way they want to, and we're just gonna have to suck it up. I mean, what can we do? It's out of our control.
Jim, do you feel the same way? Or you?
Yeah, hopefully the quality will increase. That's the thing that you worry about with these major corporations gobbling up all this stuff. You wonder about the quality.
Michael, nice to meet you. How do you feel about Fanatics taking over the licensing for all three major sports?
I think it's definitely a change that needs to happen within the hobby. I mean, I love Panini, don't get me wrong, but I think on-card autos for like premium products, like for example, like Prism is a sticker auto where you have Origins and you have Select, which are on-card autos for the most part. I do like how Fanatics is obviously going to do that with Topps and everything like that. The game used patches, I like that as well too. I think that's a big thing, like to get an NT with a nice patch and it's some patch that you got from Walmart or something like that. I think that kind of devalues the product a lot.
How long have you been a collector? How long have you been in the hobby?
I've been in the hobby since 2022. I've been collecting ever since I was little. I think it's changed my life. I love it. Shout out WeTheHobby. Shout out Eric, Josh, and Sasha. Those are my boys. Yeah, those are my boys. Shout out WeTheHobby.
Fanatics, them taking over the licensing for all three major sports come April. They'll have the NFL rights. Just want to get your overall thoughts on how that could affect the space.
Oh, that's a great question. Way to be put on the spot.
Yeah, how was your morning?
Yeah,
What'd you eat for breakfast?
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Fanatics.
Obviously, I'm excited to see what they bring to the space with, some of the big brands they've built in baseball over the years. What will Diamond Icons football look like with Patrick Mahomes, game used, on-card autos, and same thing for basketball with Royalty Basketball, with Victor, Logo Man, game used autos, and LeBron, things we haven't had in the Panini space in a while. So excited to see where they bring some of those baseball products to the high end space in basketball, or in basketball and football, and then also like catering to younger collectors as well, right? So not just flagship. Ultimately, we want something that is cool and affordable for the next generation too. So yeah, excited to see what they bring when they have all three. Obviously, they've done some big innovations in a short period of time. I believe the debut patch auto is the single greatest modern day trading card you can produce of any player. I don't think it gets any better than that. I'm very on record on that piece. So they've got that. They've got MVP buyback that brings people in our shop. So that's a great draw. So I think they've done some really cool things, and I hope that innovation continues when they ultimately get all three licenses.
Do you have a thought on Fanatics owning all three major sports?
Yeah, I just don't see how it's fair. I think it keeps the hobby fair when you have multiple different vendors pumping out different products. Having Upper Deck have their stuff, Panini have their stuff. It leaves room for everybody. When one person takes over, there's no room for anybody else to have a say in what's going on.
Fanatics and them getting the rights to all three major.
Hey, look, I come from a smaller place in the industry or the hobby. It's an industry now, but I come from this when it was a hobby. I think when you see companies like Fanatics come in, what you're witnessing is obvious growth. When big money like that starts to come in, big corporates, we're witnessing the full and complete exploitation of the collectible market. And I think there's good things about that. They're going to bring in a whole new audience of people too, which is important. We talked about the supply and demand, new blood coming in, important. But it also, to me, cheapens it a little bit. Again, I'm a hobby guy. I'm not a corporate guy, and I don't like the corporate world per se, but I live in it and I exist in it, and it is what it is. I hope that they're responsible. I hope that they can make a positive contribution, and we'll see going forward.
Thoughts on Fanatics owning all three major sports licensing?
I think it's great. I think Fanatics should buy everything. We need marketing in this space, and Michael Rubin is doing that for us.
Wow.
So keep buying everything. This space in general is ran by the older generation, zero marketing. Yes, we need Fanatics.
Fanatics is getting the license in April. It's going to be amazing. I just love what Michael Rubin and Mike Mahan are doing, and I can't wait to see the debut patches. We see it in the NBA, we see it in MLB. We're seeing a lot of players collect. A lot of NFL players already collect. I'm friends with a lot of them, and they are pumped for this. So I think it's going to be good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think Fanatics is marketing the hobby. Imagine Justin Jefferson in a Walmart, and if you buy a box of Topps Chrome Football, you get to shake his hand and take a picture with him. Yes, marketing.
What a concept marketing.
You and I are marketing King and Queen right here, so you know what's up.
Wanted to just get your thoughts on Fanatics will own all three major sports licensing.
I prefer Panini 100% all the way.
As I'm looking at your collection.
Of course. I mean, they can't do kabooms in downtowns like Panini does. Everyone knows the hype with the kabooms. I mean, there's kabooms doing record-breaking sales of $1 million. You got a guy down there asking $2 million for the LeBron green kaboom. I've never seen a Topps card modern do that anywhere near that. I mean, the Cooper Flag 1-of-1 auto just did $150K, and he's one of the best rookies we've seen license since LeBron. It's kind of crazy that they're losing their license. I don't like it. Hopefully they can make a case hit that does as well as Panini, because I don't see it going in a good way for Topps.
What do you think of Fanatics taking over all three major licensing?
Okay. Man, I'm excited. I think it's going to be something new. Anytime something new happens, it's exciting. It's not really something we've seen yet in the football market. We saw an unlicensed product last year, so those cards were selling well. So I'm excited to see kind of what the 101s and the Supers do now that they're licensed. I'll be looking for the Jaden Daniels Super 101. So if you have it or you pull it, come to Roth Cards. We'll definitely buy it. So I'm excited though.
I see the kabooms. You're not worried about?
No, I think it's a new era. So I think with a new era, you had the last year of kabooms. It's the same kind of thing with like last year Exquisite, or first year Prism, or first year of Topps Chrome now. So it's exciting. It's going to be cool to see kind of how everything like marinates over time. And a lot of the older products, the older Exquisite, the first year Prism stuff has sustained great value over time. The Panini Kaboom era, especially the golds and the greens, are going to maintain, and it's going to be something to look back on in 5-10 years, like where they're at.
Appreciate your time,
Absolutely.
man.
Thank you.
So good to see you. I'll see you soon.
Yes,
Thank you. Overall, it seems like the vote is split this way or this way. They either get excited that Fanatics now has the rights and they're excited about all the marketing and innovation that the company is doing, or they want the competition, they want healthy competition in the space, and Panini lovers are just against it. But the real question is, how do you feel? Please like and subscribe and leave your comments below, because we're definitely going to be reading those.